Hi, everybody. It is, what day is it? Tuesday. I can't even keep track anymore. If I have not talked to you before, my name is Elizabeth Lyons. I'm the founder of Publish a Profitable Book. And I wanted to come on today and do a quick training in the area of book marketing. It's not the area that I actually talk the most about. Mostly I talk about how to write and how to publish. But I'm getting a lot of questions recently in the marketing realm over in the Facebook group, which if you're not a member yet, it's our free group. There's a link somewhere on here. It's called the Self-Publishing Authors Alliance, and it's a great, no drama, high support networking community for indie writers. So here's the question. The question is, should I offer my book for free, permanently, also known as perma-free, or temporarily? Or should I offer it for a low price, or should I just keep it high? Like, what's the best approach here? And interestingly, I had a fantastic conversation yesterday with a client who happens to be in Australia. And she said, in her accent, which I won't try to replicate, although it's fabulous, you know, Elizabeth, I've been thinking about one of the things, let me bring this back for a second. One of the pros of giving away your book for free is that it's a great way to start building your list of readers. Many times authors start with no platform, right? Meaning they haven't written a book before. And if they have written a book before, they haven't had a way to collect email addresses. So they have no way to go out to a group of readers who knows who they are as a writer and say, guess what? I have a new book. So one of the strategies that many successful authors use is they offer a free chapter or 20% of their book for free or an entire book for free, especially if it is a part of a series. So if you've written the next Harry Potter series and you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 books in the series, many times authors will give away the first book in that series for free to get readers excited about the characters. And then, of course, they want to know, well, what happens next, or what other adventure does this character go on? And so they will then purchase the second book in the series, and on it goes. So so that's one of the things that I encourage my clients to do is to, first of all, have an email list. It's incredibly important. But when people say, well, how do I get people on that list? Then we talk about this concept you're going to hear a lot about. Lead magnet is the technical term for what it is, which is you give me your email address and I'll give you something, right? Whether it's a tip sheet or a free book, or it can be any number of things in any number of industries. You've likely seen this all over Facebook and everywhere else, depending on what industry you're looking at. So I was having this conversation with my client, and she said, Elizabeth, I know that you keep telling us all to set up our email list and set up this lead magnet that we can give away. Now, this particular author is getting started on her 18th book. So she has multiple series, at least 3 series in the works. So she definitely is someone who could give away the first book in any series for free in order to start attracting her target reader. So she said, I know you keep telling me and us that we should do this, that this is a great strategy, but I've been giving it some thought and I'm not going to do it. And I'm going to tell you why. And so I just listened. And it was very hard to just listen because as she was explaining her rationale, I wanted to jump through my screen and high five her so badly because the way her mindset was working was brilliant. Here's the thing. I don't care. There are only a few areas in book writing and publishing where I have extremely strong opinions on what's always right and what's always not right. Very few areas. They do exist. I suggest you listen to me when I talk about them because there are very few areas. In most areas, when it comes to especially marketing, there are pros and cons to everything. And so every person and each one of my clients, we have to look at who they are, what their platform is, what their genre is, what their goals are, all of that, what their budget is, all of that before we decide whether a certain approach has more pros or more cons. It's very rare that there's an across the board, this never works or this always works. Those kind of superlatives are rare. So my client said to me, here's the deal. Free books are a dime a dozen. And that's an understatement at this point. There are entire websites devoted to free books, right? So you can go and you can get emails from those websites, and every day they'll say, here are the top 10 free books today. And you can just download. And there are people, that's all they do is download free books. And so those services are incredibly enticing and appealing for them. There are people on this planet who don't have jobs because their full-time job is getting everything for free somehow or another. They usually end up on a talk show somewhere. So those individuals have no intention of ever giving you a credit card, ever. Now, is that going to be the majority? Not necessarily, but are they going to be in there? Yes. So my client said to me, Elizabeth, I don't want to build an email list full of people who, in all likelihood, they just wanted the free book, but they're not willing to make any sort of commitment to me financially. That's not what I'm looking to build. And I said, okay, because she was clearly extremely clear on what she's looking to build, which is 9.5 of the battle, is being very clear on what your definition of success is, what the purpose of your book is as a whole in your project, and the best way to get there. And so she said, I know I could offer it. So there's this concept of perma-free. That basically means your book is always free. It's listed as perma-free here, there, and everywhere. You give it away for free, obviously. And usually people acquire it by giving you an email address, and then you can keep communicating with them and go from there. Then there's this concept of, I'm going to start it off at like 99 cents. There are limited deals, especially if you're on Amazon and you're with Kindle. And I'm not going to get too into the weeds of this, but you can say, okay, for the first week, it's going to be, or first 4 days, it's going to be 99 cents, I think is the minimum. They keep changing it. And then after that, it goes to $1.99. And then after that, it goes to $3.99. And then after that, it goes to $9.99, right? So you incentivize people to purchase because the price is about to go up. There are those options. Then there are people who will keep it at 99 cents for a very long time as they're strategically building up their email list. And the key, really, if you're going to give away something for free, is that you have to figure out what comes next. So if you only have one book, yes, you can give it away for free for a limited time or for a lot of time, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Because what it is then is it's just your lead magnet. And what you're looking to sell them on the back end is a coaching program, a course, something like that. The book isn't the end all be all of what you're doing. When your end all be all is being a writer, being an author, you're going to develop hopefully series or books that are in the same genre. Depending on if you're writing memoir or nonfiction, perhaps you'll stay kind of in that genre and you'll keep doing how-tos or something of that nature. And so it's a great idea to be able to attract your ideal market, get them to have a rapport with you and a credibility with you, and then you try to sell something. But what Joanne was saying, Joanne's my client, was if I can't even get someone to pull out their credit card and give me 99 cents, I don't even want to touch it. And she touched upon an incredibly valid thought process that if you looked at marketing at all, it's circulating everywhere. So there are dollar trials for everything. I have a $1 trial into the monthly membership of all the Publish a Profitable Book content. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason I don't do it for free. Actually, there are two reasons, but the biggest one is that there are a lot of people who are just looking for free. If you do not, here's a little neurological, psychological nugget, whatever you want to call it. If you do not have any, as they say, skin in the game, even 99 cents, you are unlikely to ever take action with whatever you downloaded. I have probably 25 books on my Kindle or on my iPad that I downloaded for free that I have never opened because it was free, so I just did it. It was like, okay, I've never opened it. I've never read it. I have cheat sheets that I've downloaded for free. I have tip sheets that I've downloaded for free, and I've never done anything with them. But if I pay $1, or I pay, in this case, like $7 for a cheat sheet or a report or something like that, I am far more likely to review it because now you've made an investment. And so that's what Joanne was saying is I want to attract people who are willing to take a 99-cent risk that I might be their new favorite author. And I wholeheartedly support that. Now, there are a lot of reasons why when you're selling it yourself and you try to do it at 99 cents, it's really important to, and it has to do with the back-end payment gateway. But the bottom line is that what you're trying to do is attract readers. One of the strategies you've probably seen a lot of people doing recently, the first person who I ever saw do it was Ryan Levesque when he released his book, Ask. So he had this great system. I don't know who was printing his book. It might have been Amazon. I don't know what was going on. But the deal was he was saying, look, I've written this book and I want to give it to you for free. All you have to do is pay shipping and handling. And the shipping and handling was $4.95. And I ordered mine right away because I would have paid full price for his book. And now you can order the book at full price. And by the way, it's worth every penny. And I've never even met Ryan. So that's just a little side recommendation that has nothing to do with anything. But he sent it to you for $4.95. Well, now, so you've paid $4.95. Now, I know that means that covered the vast majority, if not all, of his costs related to printing and shipping the book. He may have had to spend $1 or less, or maybe even slightly more, but on what we consider customer acquisition. But that was fair for him. He wasn't losing, and it wasn't like losing the farm to acquire a customer. And then the customer had to, it's not the fact that we paid $4.95. It's the fact that if you pay $4.95, you're actually kind of serious about what information he's giving away. You're more than just like casually interested in thinking something's cool, because you have to pull out the credit card and put it in. That's what you have to do. So Ryan was the first one who I saw do that. So he did it. And then of course his book has tons of links to his site, to his services. He's got courses, he's got programs, he does a lot of private consulting, all of that. So that's what he was using to leverage to get a new market, new clients, new customers. I just saw another group do this, super smart. So this group is called HIIT Burn, and it's HIIT. It's like the high intensity interval training workouts. These guys are great. It's a husband and wife team, Kelsey and Dennis, and they are killing it, even though they are not writing books. If you're looking for some great marketing strategies, just watch them because they're pretty fascinating. But they're doing the same thing. Now, here's what's interesting. Their book will retail, I think, hardback for like $17.95, and the ebook will be $9.95. And they're like, but I might be wrong on that, so no one sue me. They will send it to you for free as long as you pay shipping and handling. But the shipping and handling is $9.95. Now, I don't know, it could be a hardback book, and I don't know what their costs were, so I don't want to make any assumptions. But what I am saying is I think $9.95 is a little high when a consumer thinks they're going to get it for free, just pay shipping and handling. We used to see that all the time on the TV when it was like the 2 a.m. infomercials, and they say, but you can get another one for free, just pay shipping and handling. The shipping and handling was like $22.95 for like a little sponge. It was crazy. So I don't know. Now, I am not criticizing their choice of making it $9.95. I would simply like to know how that goes. But anything between, $1.99 and apparently $9.95 is a great way to do two things. One, I look like I'm saying 11 or 2. One, you're testing out how people will react to that. You're getting it into people's hands. So you're acquiring new customers who are willing to give you money. And then to follow suit with that, you are not, all the cost of that is not on you. You are actually bringing that money back in that you've shelled out. So it's not at a completely a loss in terms of customer acquisition. And it's pretty brilliant. But when it comes to books, right, especially if you're talking about ebooks, which in Joanne's case she is, there is no production cost. to you for an ebook beyond your editing, your cover design, your all that kind of stuff, right? You're not paying to print it. So for you to ask someone to give you 99 cents, in my opinion, if someone isn't willing, isn't excited enough about the prospect of your book, regardless of genre, to give you 99 cents, they're probably not going to be a long-term customer. So that's kind of a way to think about, do I go free for a short period of time? Do I go free forever? You know, Mark Dawson who's a thriller writer out of the UK, has multiple series of books, and he's almost always giving away the first book in each of his series because he does a brilliant job of getting you into the characters. And if you think about really well-known thriller writers, whether it's James Patterson or, Stuart Woods, they have characters. Their books, their series are actually called a something novel, whatever, whoever the character is. And Mark does the same thing. So if you like that character for one book, then you're going to want to read another one and another one and another one. So that's still the customer attraction model that Mark uses incredibly successfully. Another way to look at it is simply the way that Joanne's looking at it, which is, I don't even want to take the time to put you on my email list and attempt to massage a relationship with you if you aren't even willing to give me 99 cents. Because if you aren't willing to give me 99 cents, when I come back at you later for my next book, which is $9.99, you're going to be even less likely to hand it to me. So it's different philosophies. I think it would be really fun to get Joanne, once Joanne does this, and we see how this goes down once her first book launches. The woman's been writing prolifically for years, and all of a sudden she has 17 novels. And I'm just like, can we please get them into the market? I'd love to have her and Mark talk from both sides because neither's right or wrong. They just have different approaches and different perspectives. And Joanne's actually writing in different genres. She's almost entirely fiction, but the latest book that she's discussing is nonfiction, is memoir. And Mark is, to my knowledge, entirely fiction. So, but different areas of fiction. He's thriller, and she's more, I don't want to say paranormal, but it's some cool avatars, like the Blue People. Who are the Blue People? Not the Blue Man Group, but like it's that genre or ilk. So anyway, those are my thoughts on that, but I would love to know what you guys have heard, what feels right to you, which is always so huge, and it's what I work with all my clients on. At the end of the day, it's not about what someone else tells you is right or wrong. It's about continuing to try new things. And when one thing doesn't work, you pivot and you try something else. And you don't pivot every 30 seconds. You pivot about every 20 days because you have to give things some time to stick. It's a long game. It's an adventure. It's a ride. And you got to just kind of get on and wait and see where the path takes you, which is always, in my opinion, super fun. So if you haven't already joined our group, I highly encourage you to do so. It's the Self-Publishing Authors Alliance. There is a link above. And then our boot camp, our next boot camp starts January 8th. So we only have 11 spots left. In our last boot camp, actually, Joanne, my client who I was just referring to, wrote her first memoir, 80,000 words in 30 days. So it's definitely doable. There are other programs like this out there that cost anywhere from $600 to $1,000 because it's daily coaching from me. It's not just coaching on how to write a book. It's not like, good morning, it's Monday, go write 3,000 words. That's not it at all. There's a lot of mindset work. There are a lot of myth dispelling. There's a lot of Q&A. There's live training. There's mentoring. There's networking. There's mindset shifting, all of that kind of stuff that goes on. So it's a 30-day program. It's actually 34, 35 days once we add in the initial stuff to get your foundation set. And there's a link for that below on here somewhere as well. So that starts January 8th. I would love, love, love to welcome you into that group. Or if you have any questions, please feel free at any time to email me at Elizabeth@PublishAProfitable.book. I would love to chat with you about your project. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day.